real estate agents. Welcome to the Weekly Closer. I'm your host, Jeff Underwood, along with my co-host and business partner, Joey Sampaga, better known as the man with the plan. How are you doing today?
Yo, I'm doing good.
Good.
I'm feeling good.
Absolutely. We are the Real Estate Marketing Maniacs.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. We got a special guest with us. Actually, a couple guests with us. Jacki Tait, Team 323, Realty One Group, Mountain Desert.
Jacki,
how are you doing?
I'm great, guys.
Sweet,
Thanks for having me on.
And we have Susan Cunningham.
Hello.
Security title. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you. Even better now that I'm in here.
Yes. Oh, what's Joey doing?
He's giving me signs.
I see you
Giving
going.
me cues.
Yes.
I got you, brother.
Thank you. I'm excited about this show, Jeff.
Yeah, we're going to have some fun.
Yes.
It's going to take us to a new altitude.
Yes.
Whoa.
I like that.
Nice segue.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway. So, Jacki, why don't you share with the agents that are listening and watching how long you've been in the business and what got you into real estate?
Well, I've been in the business since 2002, and what got me originally into real estate was I was looking to do my own investment properties, and I worked with 3 different agents, all of whom just didn't understand what I was trying to accomplish. So I said, well, that's it. I'm going to go to real estate school, and I'm going to represent myself. And I actually just fell in love with real estate, and I said, oh my gosh, I want to do this for my agents and everything. So over the course of the last 16 years, I started as an agent, then I worked for a title company in their corporate office, and then I worked for a lender, and then I came back to the good side and am an agent again. So I call it the trifecta.
There we go. Yeah.
I call it the trifecta.
Yes, it is it gives you a good knowledge of everything.
Absolutely.
So you decided to get in because some of the agents just weren't really up to speed with what they need to be, right?
Yeah.
So if Mr. T was here, he would say,
I'm beautiful.
absolutely. Right?
Genius.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Got it in
And
there.
the pressure's off.
Yes.
I'm just trying to think of when. Okay. Anyway.
You know what I'm really interested in, Jacki, is
Yeah.
I think I might have seen this or heard this on a video of yours. Why you came from, when you went from the Jacki Tait team to 323. Can you kind of explain that?
yeah.
I love that.
Oh, thank you. Yes. So when I first decided to create a team, it was 2014, and that was when we moved to Flagstaff full time. So I did start out in Scottsdale. And I started as the Team Tait.
Team Tait.
And then along the way, I really wanted to change that because I'm not interested in the ego of the business. I didn't want it to be about me and, Team Tait. I wanted it to be all-inclusive for my team, and I wanted my team name to be a little more about what we stand for instead of who started it.
Got it.
And so Team 323 is actually based on a Bible verse, Colossians 3:23, that tells us to work hard and diligently and do all things as if unto the Lord. So that's how we as a team put our flag in the, put our flag in the stake and say, hey, this is what we stand for. This is how we're going to treat you.
Amen.
That's
sister.
awesome.
There you go.
Amen.
That's how you put your flag in Flagstaff.
That's
Yeah.
right. Look at you.
Oh, yeah. I am on a
You
roll.
are on it.
Oh, gosh. Is that breaking my eardrums?
What?
No, I love that. So what made you decide to move full-time up?
Well, my husband and I actually we had a second home there for years, and the people Capstone Homes is who my husband now works for. They're the biggest new home builder in Flagstaff, and they had been after my husband for a long time to come up and work for them. And so finally one day he said, well, whatever, I'll have lunch with you and let's talk about it. And we had no plans on following through. And after that meeting, he called me on his way back to Scottsdale and said, Jacki, here's what we're looking at, and I really kind of feel like we should do it. And something inside of me just said, let's go.
Wow.
And he went, what? I think he really thought I was going to say no, and talk him off the ledge, and we'd stay in Scottsdale. And I said, no, let's do it. And the rest is history.
So how do you like the area compared to, it's obviously night and day, right? So, as far as...
It is.
You're talking snow, cold.
Yeah.
So
We get all
was that
4
an
seasons.
Adjustment, or
It
were you
is.
excited?
But, I grew up in Chicago. My husband grew up in Minnesota. So both of us are like, this isn't real winter. We've had real winter, But yeah, we do get snow, and it gets
You've already
cold.
had snow this year.
We have. Actually, I was lucky enough to be down in Scottsdale when that happened, so I missed it. But
That is so
so
fun.
yeah, so it's great. We have all 4 seasons, and it's a small town community. You know, we have 69,000 residents in Flagstaff, but we have over 5 million visitors a year. So that makes for a very unique experience as a realtor, and and obviously as just a resident.
Yeah, absolutely. So what are you doing right now up there to be successful?
Well, we actually, so at the last quarter of every year, I assess my systems and we look at what's been working, what's not working, and we do more of what's working, and then we duck and weave and get rid of what's not working, and then, do something new. So this year, our something new that we're just launching is our Flagstaff podcast called Experience Bleh, I can't talk.
Easy for you to say.
I know. Wow. And I'm going to be hosting a podcast.
Yes.
Isn't that great?
Yes.
No, it's called
The
Experience.
beauty of a podcast is you can edit.
Edit. It's lovely.
Yay.
We're going to edit
We're going to
this.
edit that out, right?
Probably not. No.
No. Okay. Well, anyway, so it's called Experience Flagstaff, and it's about appreciating the mountain town where we live, work, and play.
Yeah, sounds cool.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yes.
So you're going to be interviewing, so you're going to be talking about real estate and just the local scene and all that.
Yes. So the
Sweet.
live, work, and play actually goes into 3 different segments. And so the live is about real estate. So we'll talk a little bit about the market and then just tips and tricks geared
Alright.
towards the consumer. And then the work will be interviewing local business owners.
Okay.
And then the play is about what's coming up in the next week, what events are coming up in Flagstaff, and what can you do to...
That is
Super cool.
sweet.
Some fun.
Yeah.
I'm gonna listen to
That's
that.
going to be a lot of
Yay!
fun. Yes.
I have my first 3 listeners
Yeah.
right
Yes,
here.
absolutely. Sign me up.
Well, it's actually, so by the time we air this, you may actually be live. So
I think,
Yes.
yeah,
is
because
there
we're
a
launching...
website dedicated to it, or
Yes.
it's going to be iTunes? And
Yes, it's going to be on iTunes and Stitcher, and then the website is experienceflagstaff.com.
Experience.
how did you get that?
I got lucky. Actually,
I
I
was gonna
bought
say,
that
what?
URL when I first moved to Flagstaff, and I've just been sitting on it for a while. So when I went to name my podcast, I said, what URLs do I own? And I went, Experience Flagstaff. That's
I'm
genius.
surprised that was not taken.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
We got to check experience in Phoenix and Scottsdale. And
I already looked. They're
Taken.
gone.
Taken.
Well, so that might be part of the beauty of smaller community. Maybe not as many people on the tech side wanting to really do the marketing. I don't know.
No, you know what?
that's good
Actually,
stuff.
it's
Or-
funny that you say that because when I moved up to Flagstaff, it is a completely different experience to be a realtor in Flagstaff than it is in the Valley. 100%. And
They write out the contracts by hand. No, I'm just teasing.
we're not that far
That was a
behind.
joke. I'm just teasing.
Uh-oh.
Well, you don't, so there.
No.
People should work with you.
That's
No.
right. Oh, see? Look how you brought that back around. Nice.
He's good like
job.
that.
he saved it.
Oh, I'm good. But no, it's a completely different experience. And so what was great is when I was down here, I used to do a lot of marketing coaching for realtors myself. And so when I went up to Flagstaff, I said, well, I have to start from scratch. I didn't know anybody there and, just a couple people. But I said, all right, I'm starting from scratch. What do I need to do? And I said, I'm going to do everything I teach agents to do. I'm going to show it works. And so my very first year in Flagstaff, I sold $7 million.
Wow.
Yeah, so I launched everything off the ground. It worked and kept growing. That's when I created the team. And, we just, kind of kept growing and going from there. But, when I first moved in, it was a little interesting to try and break into that market. So,
So is it real, I don't know, do they have little cliques going on and stuff or what? Like in the real estate community?
Well, yeah, yes and no. I don't want to call them cliques, but it's a small town community. So, in Scottsdale or in the Valley, anywhere in the Valley, it's nothing to have a 30-year career and never have the same cross-sale agent twice. However, in Flagstaff, we all know we need to play nice in the sandbox because you're going to do a cross-sale with that agent at least 2-3 times a year if there's it's the 80-20 rule, right? 20% of the agents do most of the business, and so every once in a while you get an agent who's maybe not full-time, but for the most part you're constantly doing cross sales with other agents.
So you think I made some enemies just No, maybe.
You don't
I'm-
plan to go up to the Flagstaff area, do you? Anytime
I don't
soon?
know. I don't know.
I wouldn't wear that hat.
But we now have an agent to refer business to.
Yes, you do.
Exactly. And that's actually one of the main ways that I do business is from agents from the Valley referring business up to Flagstaff.
All right, okay. So do you see the majority of purchases up there second homes then, or is it a good mix? Or
It's a good mix. I personally specialize in second homes and investment properties, and that's one of the things that I do because that's something that my husband and I do ourselves. We have investment properties, we have vacation rental properties, that type of thing. So that's what I like to specialize in. But between my team and I we definitely work with locals and that type of thing, but we also do a lot with second homeowners.
cool.
And they come primarily from the Valley and from California.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I can see the California thing for
We
sure.
get so much California, just like in the Valley where, people want to cash out their equity and then move here and have a nice little nest egg. So sometimes they don't want to do the Valley. They want to do more of the Four Seasons and be in the mountains. So,
and ski.
and ski.
So do the leaves actually
Snowboard.
turn colors there?
They do. They're
Do they
beautiful
really?
right
Okay,
now.
I'm taking my wife over there because we tried to go to Prescott or Jerome or that area. We didn't find anything but brown and green.
Yeah, no, Flagstaff, right now we have vibrant red, yellow leaves.
Really?
It's really pretty. And if you're coming up, you can go through Sedona because Sedona's leaves are just starting to change.
Oh,
okay.
excellent advice.
There's going to be this wonderful podcast you can actually listen to.
That's right.
Pretty soon.
Experience Flagstaff.
I think
Hopefully
that's
you'll
what
have
it
a
is.
lot
Yeah.
of restaurants, local restaurants. I want to hear about that.
I am all about the local restaurants.
So you have a team,
I do.
and is everybody up Flagstaff, or do you have some down in the Valley, or?
So, interestingly enough, when I first moved up to Flagstaff, obviously we were transitioning, so we did still have our Valley-based business. And so I did have an agent who was working in the Valley on my team. And then just recently we decided, it's been long enough, and the referral business was getting a little thinner down in the Valley. And so what we decided to do is regroup and only focus on Flagstaff because I'm a really big believer that work smarter, not harder.
Yes.
Why should I drive down 2 hours to work with a buyer when I can refer that to an agent, make my 25% referral fee, and stay put in Flagstaff and work
Yeah,
with my
makes sense.
area of expertise there?
Absolutely. What do you think is the biggest difference between selling houses there versus here?
So selling here, it was very rare to run into, different issues with water or with septic or that type of thing. Whereas in Flagstaff, literally from community to community, you're looking at different water issues, different sources of electricity, different sources of gas, propane versus natural gas, wells versus hauled water.
Well, we already talked about how they're so far behind us.
Making
gosh.
friends.
Wow. No, I wasn't.
You're going to come up to Flagstaff and you're going to see like a billboard with your
Right.
face on it. And
Just don't have them on your podcast.
Do you know this maniac?
I'll have to wear a mask.
You'll have to
I'll
wear the
mask.
Yeah, they won't recognize you with
No,
that.
but I figured they do have hauled water and all that with the mountains and all. So.
Yeah, actually, throughout Coconino County, the majority, I think it's 85%, I would have to check my stats on that, but I think it's 85% have alternative water source.
Wow, that's a big number.
Yeah,
That's a lot.
So it's important to be an expert up there.
it really is.
I mean, it's important to be expert anywhere, right?
That's
But
right.
And when I first moved up there, that was the main thing that I knew I was going to have to learn. That was going to be my biggest learning curve because working with clients is working with clients and, understanding their needs and how to handle a client and how to walk them through the process. All of that is similar, but knowing what that process looks like in Flagstaff versus what that process looked like down here in the Valley, completely
Two different
different
things.
things. Absolutely.
Yeah, I just did a transaction with a septic, and I didn't know what the heck to do. I totally forgot to include that disclosure of the what is it called? The
the on-site
wastewater
wastewater system.
On-site.
Addendum, yes.
so I almost had to eat that. So
Oh.
the cost of doing the whole inspection and the pump and
See, and then by the time you do all of that stuff, so if you were in Flagstaff doing
Yeah.
that, then on top of that, you'd be driving 2 hours
That's right.
and you'd be
That's right.
not knowing what you're
well,
doing.
I'm just going to send it over to Jacki Tait.
that's
I
right.
love it.
Team 323.
Did it take you a while to get used to the elevation?
No.
I mean, did you get tired quick?
No.
Walking around? Oh, okay.
No, not me. And, like I said, we had a second home there. And when actually, it's kind of funny because when we had that second home and we would go up there to get away. And so what we would do is we would bike and we would hike and we would do all those kinds of things and we'd take naps and it was great. And then, I think after we moved up there, because when you're kicking off a new business, both of us and our entire income source is 100% commission, you are on it.
You're on
and
it.
so
Yeah.
I think we were up there a year and my husband and I looked at each other and we said, do you remember when we used to just come to Flagstaff and chill? And we laughed and laughed.
That's funny.
Bike's got some dust on it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome. How about if other agents are thinking about, not necessarily Flagstaff, but you made an entire shift from the Valley to. So if other agents are thinking, gosh, how can I make a shift, whether that's a different city or what have you, or a different community or whatever?
Yeah.
What's advice you would give them as far as starting that process?
Oh, that's a great question. If they find themselves needing to move into a completely new community and shift their business. So I would say the most important thing, depending on, like I said, we kept our business running here in the Valley while we established ourselves up in Flagstaff. And so that made the transition, it was very taxing time-wise, but it made it financially a little bit easier. But if you're moving into a completely new place where you can't kind of do that back and forth, the most important thing I would say is, number one, build a referral network where you're currently at. So if you're currently in the Valley and you're specializing in Scottsdale, make sure you've got a really solid agent who can handle your book of business so you're still getting that income coming in while you're establishing. And then the other piece of advice is to get a presence in that market. You cannot be afraid to spend money. You have to put out the marketing dollars to get yourself in the game.
Interesting.
That's a
What
good
type
tip.
of marketing dollars would you spend?
So when I very first moved up there, the first thing I did is invest in internet leads.
Okay.
In fact, my very first buyer, I signed up for Realtor.com on April 16th. My first buyer lead came in August 16th. My first buyer lead came in the next day on the 17th, and we closed on their house that they bought on September 16th.
Wow.
So it was less than a 30-day turnaround, and that was how I started to build it. So it was that, and then also marketing to my Valley agents that I, who knew, liked, and trusted me first and foremost, not just trying to spray the entire Valley of, marketing messages, but letting them know that I had made that shift and started to get referrals from them as well. So that was kind of the 1-2 punch, but also websites, social media, getting everything set up. And it's all about, you guys are marketing guys. I don't need to tell you this, but it's all about getting your brand message consistent and then putting that everywhere on the internet so that you look like you've been there forever.
Yeah, for sure.
That's good.
No, that is awesome. So are you doing a lot of online leads now? Or?
So the way that we work now is I do a lot of online leads, and that's what feeds my team. I personally work by referral only, whether that's referral from past clients or sphere of influence or Valley agents. So my personal business is referral.
Right. Well, I think the podcast is a great way to go for.
That's going to be fun
because you're putting money out to have to put it together and
Absolutely.
to post it and publish that and everything. But it's going to be a great referral source.
Yes.
As you interview those businesses, right?
Correct.
I just think that's a genius way to do it.
I'm really excited about it, and I've already connected with a lot of the people that I'm going to be interviewing, and they're excited about it. And so, to get that up and running is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Wow.
Awesome.
All
We
right,
like
then.
podcasts around here. We
Yes,
believe
we
in
do.
them.
I'm a podcast junkie, so it just made sense that I would actually do a podcast.
Good.
All right. You mentioned before the show you have a couple favorites, right?
I do have a
Podcasts?
couple favorites. One is this one. I don't know if you've heard of The Weekly Closer.
You're on that right now. What a weird coincidence.
Whoa, it's like a
It is.
time continuum. No, but I like that one. I also listen to. I don't actually listen to a whole lot of real estate podcasts. I do listen to the Active Rain podcast that they have up. I think it's called Success Insights or something like that.
Okay.
And but I listen to a lot of marketing ones. So I listen to Pat Flynn Flynn and Amy Porterfield and Sunny Lenarduzzi. So that's like my trifecta because they all hit a different aspect of the online marketing world, and so I love listening to them. James Wedmore is awesome too.
Oh, he's good too.
Oh yeah, he's good. Who's the blonde that was at Social Media Marketing World?
Are you talking about Shailene?
Yes,
Oh,
Shailene Johnson, right?
Yes.
So hers is
She's
pretty
good
cool.
too.
Now I know it's not as consistent because
Right.
family is big time important to her. But she does great with the whole branding.
She does.
Figuring out your tribe, right?
Yep.
So no, that's awesome. We like podcasts too. They're cool. They're cool. So where do you see things going for you?
You know, I just see our team growing and just continuing to go. You know, everybody on my team knows that it's my goal to actually sell less and make them more successful. So if I can be behind the scenes feeding them and making them more successful, that makes me completely happy. You know, I want to see them selling 10 million themselves instead, you know, like, so just get
Sure.
that up and running.
Right.
So.
Right. So are you looking for more? Team members right
I
now?
am looking for more team members in Flagstaff specifically.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if somebody that might listen to this or watch this, they want to reach out to you, how do they do that?
Well, the best way, you can give me a call direct at 602-904-3454. That's the best way to reach me. Other than that, you can find me at experienceflagstaff.com.
There we go.
There's the
Gotta
plug.
Flagstaff agents.
Plug that. But yeah, I mean, it's great, and I would welcome any calls about questions on Flagstaff, that type of thing. Very happy to help you with your referrals. I love to work with the Valley agent, you know, with their client. I'm really open to that. But I'm very passionate about, you know, it's so important that unless you really know Flagstaff, don't try and represent your clients in Flagstaff, because you're going to be doing your clients a huge disservice. It's
Yeah.
going to be really tough on your fiduciary duty. And in Flagstaff, you know, again, we're a very small town, and I've got, you know, here's one of the major differences, right? When you guys sell a house, you get a house under contract, what's your inspection period?
Yes.
What is
10
it?
days.
Usually 10 days.
Yes.
In Flagstaff, our inspection period, you got to write in 15 days. Do you know why?
Why?
Because we have
Everything's slower in Flagstaff?
it's not that everything's
Oh,
slower.
I'm
It's
just
that
teasing.
we have a very small pool of good inspectors and a very small pool of good roofers and plumbers and all that good
Makes
stuff.
sense.
And so sometimes your good inspectors are booked up past the 10-day period.
Got it.
And so that's number one. And number two is if you were to call with no relationship.
Oh, there it is.
There's a
Did you hear
jackhammer.
that?
Oh,
Yes.
that's
There's
scary.
construction, by the way.
Yeah.
But that's the first time
That's the
since
first
we've
time.
been in here.
We're expanding the studio.
Well, so many people. We need a lobby just for all
Yeah.
the people waiting to get on the
Oh,
show.
yeah, there you
That's
go.
right.
There you go.
That's actually the direct time teleport right to Flagstaff.
Oh, and there she goes.
And there I go. But no, I mean, so it's really important. I have the relationships where I can call an inspector or a plumber or a roofer and say, oh my gosh, I need to get you, can you help me tomorrow? And they
Yeah.
can do it. Whereas if you don't have that relationship and you just call off of, you know, just Google them and call them, they're going to be like, you know, I'm 2 to 3 weeks booked out. So that is that more than anything is important, but then also understanding, well, what is hauled water? And did you know that if you have a loan on a hauled water property, there's certain inspections you have to go through and certain fees you're going to have to pay. We also have a lot of manufactured homes. I right now have several listings that are 100% off grid. So there are no public utilities to those properties. And I've had Valley agents who have come up and tried to represent their client, you know, come and show them, and then they realize, oh, wow, this isn't what we thought it was, and maybe this isn't quite what's right for our client. But
Yeah.
you know, so much better if you can refer those to a Flagstaff agent who can then guide that process and, you know, have their own, you know, real estate connections, inspector connections,
Yeah.
and obviously know what pitfalls. Like you said, you didn't even know you needed that addendum because you don't deal with
That's right.
septic. We deal with septic and hauled water and propane all the time.
Yeah. And they have tiny homes in Munns Park, right?
You know, what's funny
Isn't there
is
something going on?
there are some tiny homes up in Munns Park. Now, those are actually the ones that are existing are actually not resale homes
got it.
that
Yeah.
we could represent. But in Munns Park, you do have a lot of manufactured homes that you know, have their own set of rules, if you will.
Yeah.
And you sell those too.
I do.
Yeah. It's just a lot smaller price point.
Well,
It's a smaller price point, but I got to tell you, I'm a huge Munns Park fan. I am such a fan of Munns Park. It kind of reminds me, it's the quintessential second home for people in the valley who, they don't want to come all the way up to Flagstaff. They just want kind of a little community.
Yeah.
And if you've ever been to Munns Park in the summertime,
It's great.
it's just all a buzz. And then you go in the wintertime and you're like, hello, where's everybody?
right.
Yeah, I can
It's a lot
see
of
that.
fun.
Oh, there it is again.
Oh, that's that time teleport. That must mean
Yeah.
our time is running
Is
out.
it knocking?
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening.
That's a jackhammer.
Jackhammer, yeah. Well, we are ready to move to the next segment.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to share before we?
Anything else I want to share? Just, please feel free. If you're listening to this podcast and you have absolutely any questions about Flagstaff or Williams or Munns Park, that's the areas that we cover, please reach out to me. I'm completely happy to help. Even if you're not sure quite yet that you want to refer, maybe you're just poking the bear and trying to figure things out, call me at 602-904-3454 and I'm here to help you.
And they really do have bears.
We really do have bears.
And
Yes.
don't poke them, though.
Yeah, you don't really.
I want to throw something in because I've known Jackie for 15 years and have worked with her in a number of capacities over those years. And I can tell you that if you're an agent and you're not quite sure you wanted to poke the bear because you're not quite sure you want to refer, I can tell you, as Jackie said, she works really closely with the local agent. You are not going to feel like you've lost control of your client or you're not going to be out of the loop. Jackie's going to keep you in the loop the whole time, and it's going to make you, really shine that you, instead of earning that commission that maybe, you might be thinking you would want to do, you're actually doing the right thing by putting your clients in the good and capable hands of an expert in that area.
Makes
Thank
sense.
you.
You're welcome.
Wow.
Thank you for that.
Nice.
Oh gosh. Okay. I'm on a roll with those buttons.
I love it.
I
love
like it.
All right. So are you ready to get in the ring?
I'm ready. Let's do this.
go.
Now she has
All
to put the mask on, right?
You want to? Because we have a couple extra.
Don't do it.
Don't
Don't
do
do it.
I'm not going to do it.
I don't know. I don't remember the last person that had it on. So I don't know.
They were
I'm
really
good.
sweaty.
Thank you.
so-
Thank you for the offer, but I'm okay.
All right. Okay. Here we go again.
Okay.
No. What's the best advice that anyone's ever given you?
Be consistent in the little things. That's the
Excellent.
absolute best
That
advice.
is so good.
And that's not
So
something
good.
I'm natural at. And I'm the 30,000-foot view, And but when I took that piece of advice, it completely changed my business.
They say success is boring because you do the same little
Yes.
things over and over
Yes,
again.
and it's very true. It's
Yeah.
very true.
Yeah.
How about your favorite mobile app?
So my favorite mobile app is my Send Out Cards app on my phone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I actually credit my Send Out Cards account for being one of the reasons why I was able to build a really strong referral-based business.
Nice.
So I use that thing religiously.
So you can send something directly from that app?
Absolutely. So
Sweet.
you can even, you take a picture, you put it right into a card, boom, boom, boom. You can even import your contact, you click send, and then Send Out Cards prints it, stuffs it, stamps it, mails it out for you, and makes me look like a rock star.
It's great because you can customize it
Oh,
according
yeah.
to that person's
Yes.
likes and needs and wants.
And if you
Yeah.
if you have a picture of a child or a pet that's on the front of that card, they will not throw it away.
especially if
Never.
it's theirs.
Yes.
That is what I meant.
That's-
Actually, that is what I meant. Not any child.
Just random.
Not my own child. No, their child or pet.
Yes.
How about a book recommendation?
Well, book recommendation, that's a hard one because I got a lot. But I would say, and maybe just because we talked about being consistent in the little things, the thing that changed me on that was when I read the book The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson.
Oh, okay.
When I read that was what really just, I don't know why, but that was the one that went boom. Oh, I get it.
Yeah. Yeah. Boom.
Boom.
Was that the teleport again?
A productivity tool or software that you use on a regular basis?
So we use Follow Up Boss as
Okay.
our database,
Yep.
and I love that because I use that for my team, and so everybody has their own login and their own database, but as the team lead, I can see everything that's going on, and what I love the most about it is literally Follow Up Boss emails me every morning and tells me what I need to do that day, and that's what I need. So,
All right.
It's your follow-up boss.
yes.
Yes.
It's a good CRM.
Yeah.
All right. Last question. We'll have you draw from the mask.
This is beautiful. What is that, velvet?
Oh boy.
All right. What'd you get?
Oh, what is your favorite type of food and your favorite restaurant?
Now, will that be
Susan, you can answer
local
this
or
too.
will that be?
Anywhere.
I'm
Anywhere.
going to give you my Flagstaff recommendation. I've actually, that's a tough one because I've got two.
Give them both.
I
there you go.
I recently went vegan, so I'm going to say my favorite type of food right now is vegan.
Okay.
That's kind of a
Because
given.
it's all you're eating.
That's all I'm eating.
Yeah.
And my favorite restaurants, there's two amazing vegan restaurants in Flagstaff. One is called Wild Ass. And
Okay.
that kind of has a lot of like your comfort food and your, that type of thing. And so it's really good. And then the other one is the Red Curry Vegan Cafe. And that's right on San Francisco Street. And it's Thai food, but
Nice.
vegan. And it's really good.
I'm hungry now for some reason.
How recent did you go vegan?
A month ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I did it for health reasons, not for,
Not because you wanted to.
Not because I wanted to, but because I had to. So
Yeah.
what's great is that there are some good restaurants out there that help it make it a little less painful. So there are times, I'm not going to lie, where I just miss having a big juicy burger.
There you go.
But what are you going to do?
Garden burger,
There
veggie
you-
burger.
there you
Soy
go.
burger.
The
There it is.
Impossible Burger is the new thing. Like at Hop Dottie over here at Town and Country, they have the Impossible Burger, and it's a vegan burger. And it's named the Impossible because it tastes so much like a burger.
I know where I'm doing for dinner tonight.
Hey, we got to ask Susan this
Yeah,
because
Susan.
she loves to go out and eat.
Oh, I sure
In
do.
regards, because you pick good restaurants. Jeff and I met you at the one restaurant. It was delicious.
Oh, thank you. That was Grassroots.
Grassroots.
That was
That's
Grassroots.
right. Yeah.
Well, when Jackie drew the question, I was thinking, because, I love so many. But we recently went to a local restaurant called Publico Italian
Oh yeah.
Eatery.
That's me and Heather's favorite. One of our favorites.
Blew our minds how
Yes.
good it was.
And it's hidden too. You have
Oh,
to
it's
go
so
around.
hidden. Yeah, you got to know
So
where you're
hidden.
going. It's 7th Street and Bethany Homes, the major crossroads.
Yep.
But you really have to go east on Palo Verde to get to the back of it for
That's right.
parking.
Yep.
But man, it's worth it.
It
the
is
food
good.
is delicious.
Yeah, wow.
I remember you.
Almost good.
I remember you posting on social media about that, and I knew it must be good because usually she just posts the picture of the food or the drink, but she had pictures of everybody who went there with her and the whole thing. I said, "This must be a winner."
Wow, this was good. Yeah, that's an awesome
You have
one.
to try Cafe Otro or Otro Cafe. It's close to there.
Been
Oh, Ben?
many times.
Ladera.
They got
How about Ladera?
No.
Oh. Okay.
Oh,
Remember
we'll
that?
talk after.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah.
Food.
I love it.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Yes,
Yay.
thank
This has
you.
been great.
Thank you guys for having me
A lot
on.
of fun.
A lot of fun.
Looking forward to the podcast.
Yes.
Awesome.
Experience Flagstaff.
Yes.
Right? All right. Awesome. Well, you know who to ask if you have any questions about podcasting.
I will call you for sure. Well, we're in the same kind of podcast network.
Yeah, we are.
We just
That's right.
discovered. So
That's
that's
right.
a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'll have to look in that. You go into the yeah, we'll have to talk after.
Yes.
Cool. And thanks, Susan, again.
You
Susan
bet.
Cunningham for
You're
bringing
awesome.
Jackie on.
Don't forget our
Absolutely.
sponsor.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Susan Cunningham is amazing if you are an agent and you want to connect with a true professional.
Oh,
She's so
thank you.
genuine.
There you
So
go.
genuine.
Absolutely.
Thank
and
you.
security title and Fidelity National, what is
Home
it?
warranty.
Fidelity National Home Warranty.
You can look on the
Yes.
wall.
I know.
It's right
Sometimes I
there.
flip the name.
I know.
around, but,
I know. And that's really troublesome for me.
Yeah, sorry about that. All right. Well, until next time, guys, this is Jeff Underwood
And Joey Sampaga.
signing off from the Weekly Closer Podcast. See you later. Bye-bye.